Hello everyone, another part in the Everything I've Ever Colored series. I have a big pile of books to show again, so I'm diving straight in. And silly me, I forgot to show the Wizard of Oz coloring book the last time, or in the previous video where I showed my Fabiana colorings. I just forgot that I did one in here. It was only one, and that's this one. Had a lot of fun coloring the lion's hair, the hairs. I love how her hair turned out too. Not too fond of her dress. I did it with some shiny paint. But yeah, it was a nice coloring. The thing I don't like that much on Fabiana's books are the foliage or the greenery. I never know how to color it in properly, but I've used some autumn colors, and although it was done in January, I see, I really like the combination of every element here in this one. So that's the only one I did in The Wizard of Oz. And then we are diving into the hardback books, starting with Hannah Carlson's Soulmates. Not sure how many that I've done in here. I remember doing this one. I think it was on a color and chat. I think. No, it was another lady from another book, not her. Can't remember what I've used. I think Neo in the background with a lot of paints on top. Watercolor pencils, I think here. Her skin Prismacolors, if I'm not mistaken. And the background is quite special with all the shimmery here. There's gold paint here on the mirror. And I really like how this one came out. And oh boy, shame on me. Oh no, I did two more. Ooh, I forgot all about them. I really like doing neighbor pages. Although I'm always in doubt whether to do them in the same style or to make them totally different. For this one I decided to make it totally different. The only connection maybe a little bit is, although it's another kind of turquoise, you have both turquoise colors in these pictures, but for the rest it's completely different. This one was done first, and then afterwards, a few weeks later, I think. This is in November, this is from October, and yeah, a few weeks later, a month later, I did the right page. She's a lot of Inktense. Her skin I can't remember. There's some silver paint and some gold paint. Had a lot of fun with her. Really like how this turned out, but I can say the same thing from this page. Also some shimmer paints. Really glad with how this one turned out too, and it's so nice to see them both together. I really like how this frog, it's very vivid. Yeah, had a lot of fun. Love this book. I'm going to do a color along in February, and I think I'm going to pick a picture from Soulmates. I'm not sure yet, but it's a possibility. Then we have the jewelry box. It's the Dutch Juwelenkistje, the Dutch imprint. I was working on her on camera with a color and chat, and I was saying that I saw orange and red colors for her, but it turned out she became quite cold looking because she's very pale, and so I gave the bird some colder colors, a colder background. And also with some metallic shine on top, and a lot of shimmer paint going on. But I like the result. It was different from what I had in mind, and but she turned out like, yeah, like I wanted to at the end. I haven't done much in this one. I believe I did mess up a few pages. I had to tore some out because I was playing with, I think, brush powders, and this one was a saved page. It was laying in my paper bin, folded, because I have some foldings here. But I decided to save it anyway, and so it turned back into the book. And this one is quite a plain one, just focused on the coloring. I did use a washi tape for border. I did use some stickles for the spider webs and some details in the clock. And on this one there's also some glitter or metallic paint, Pentel Dual Hybrid pens. And I'm super glad that I have the Coloring Heaven magazine, because some of my Hannah Carlson pictures are a bit messed up, or I've put a cross over them, so I can do them again since they are in the Coloring Heaven special. The only one that I've lost here was a little mouse pushing a perfume bottle. That isn't in the Coloring Heaven issue either, I'm afraid. So that's lost, but yeah. These two friends or sisters had a lot of fun working on those two. Really like how this page turned out. I have used some glitter gel pen for some shiny effects. Really like how this red-headed girl, how her eyes are looking. And yeah, I like them both. Very, very nice coloring. And then I've done this one. This is not nothing too fancy, just yeah, a very detailed bug. And that's about it, I think. Yep, that's it for jewelry box. Then we have the only Swedish edition that I have of Hannah's books. This is Seasons. It's the most thin book of them all as well, because the paper is a good quality, but it's thin compared to my other editions. And I've done this Halloween witch with soft pastel for the background. I don't use it very often anymore, but I should, because I really like I like the effect of it. Can't remember which pencils I've used, but for her outfit I've used Inktense. So, oh no, Neocolor 2. Oh no, Inktense. Neocolor 2 is for this background. Prismacolors for her skin, I think. So to see on the things that I've written down on the bottom. Another soft pastel background with a spider catching some diamonds. Really like how shiny these diamonds look, just by adding white signo. Simple page, but a lot of fun. Really enjoyed doing this one. This is done with watercolors entirely. This is a testing page because it's screwed up, so I'm not going to do anything about that anymore. So it's a very simple one, but it's quite a nice one. This one is not the best. It's colorful, but I don't think the colors are matching each other very well, and no. But well, it's another page that's done. And this one I like very much. Although my bird should have been more in a vivid color because he's hardly visible, or she. But for the rest, I'm very happy with how this one turned out too. And this one, I was so happy with how this turned out that I didn't want to risk doing a background. Nowadays I always start with my backgrounds, but then I just had started her face, left this picture for quite a while, and then decided on continuing it. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it as it is without a background. It's perfect like it is now. This one is hardly visible because all of the white signal, there's kind of a pyramid in, yeah, it's a crownish like something, not the best. And I think I've used the Erogit and pastel pencils that are they are beautiful but way too light for this colorful background. And then I did a wintry page. Also not too fond of this one, but it's okay. And what did I do here? Oh, here was a mistake, and I've just went over with black paint. Okay, so I can't get frustrated, but silly me, I've ruined her hair and her skin. I hope she's in the coloring heaven issue and I can color her over there. So that was it for seasons. Then we have Magical Dawn. What have we done in here? A failure. She's in the new Coloring Heaven issue. Very glad she is because I really want to color her. She's in the issue too, so I can recolor her, although I'm very happy with how she turned out. Although the background does, yeah, it lets the leaves sink in, so, but the focus is on her, so that's nice too. Then these two, very glad with those. Really like the effect of the neighbor pages. I'm going to move that paper clip. Then we have another one with Crayola pencils and Neos, I think. Sorry for the bump. This is a tester's page. And it has given my kitten a pink butt. I hope I can cover it with some orange colors. This one is left. Didn't like how she turned out, and yeah, maybe I can redo her in the Coloring Heaven issue. She's in there. This one was a lot of work, but I really like how this one turned out. Yeah, I'm going to move these paper clips. In the older days, I put some papers in between, and I'm going to remove it because, in fact, I don't like it much. Did quite a lot in here. My colorful birds, Neocolor 2 and Inktense, and the other one is Prismacolor and Neocolor. So very nice. Really like her too. Very vivid background. It's like she's coming out of hell, or that she's in front of a big fire. This is quite a cool tones, but really like this one too. This one is also in the new Coloring Heaven issue. I'm glad, because I don't like what I've done here. I just saw the page and everything is so blurry looking now. It wasn't at the beginning, but it is now, and it's strange. And then we have this colorful double page spread. Very bright and poppy. So yeah, that was it for Magical Dawn. Then we are hopping on Summer Nights. Here's the first one, Dark Skin Beauty. One of my first skins, I think, especially darker skin. Beautiful page with a colorful bird and mice. Woohoo! I didn't even put down the date, but it's an oldie. It's an oldie. This one I really like. Very colorful. I like the background of this one too, with salmon pink and a bit of yellow. I really like this one. This one is an old one. It was a hit on Instagram, which I didn't understand because I didn't like it myself. And 2 years later, I decided to do this side with Holbein pencils and inked neo colors and some diamonds here. And I really like how they match. It's not the same red, of course, as the bird, but it's a connection, and I really like it. And I've also done this one, also very fond of this one. Really like how she's looking, and yeah. This is a very pale one. I did that on purpose, coloring in this one quite pale. So I'm not lifting up my books continuously, because if there's not much to see from glitter or shimmer, then it's fail. This paper is torn. I did her mouth over and over and over again. I can feel it here that it's bumped. So we have this girl here blowing stuff away, otherwise it's like she's smoking something. And then this one is a failure. The background doesn't match all the rest, but yeah. This one is also an oldie. It's very noticeable. And then the intro page for this book. And I did do the small book in the front too. So that was Summer Nights. We have Daydreams, also by Hannah Carlson. And I've done this one. It's an oldie, March 2017. A lot of work. I've done this one. beginning of 18. I like how these diamonds came out, or crystals, but the rest is a bit... I've done this one. This was the first coloring since I had my polychromos pencils. All done with polychromos. This was for Katrine, always coloring, who passed away. I tried to use colors that she loved for the background. She was fond of some cranberry-like colors and purplish colors, and I thought it was suitable to do those colors for her. I don't like the border of this mirror thing, but yeah, I'm very happy with the inner part, and that is the focus. This one was an experiment because it was an empty fish. I drew some bubbles. I've used a stencil kind of thing to draw Ariel. I've used a stencil to make this turtle, and here there's glitter going on, and yeah, it's okay, but nothing too special, but I like the glitter. This is a very old double page spread of which I'm very fond. Also soft pastel background. I love how my kitty turned out because yeah, it was just an experiment, and I really like it. Had a lot of fun with those two. Another double page spread with a lot of work. And it's this one. With glitter glue, no stickles, but some other glitter things. Also an oldie, June 2017. This one is quite a simple one. March 2017. This is also an oldie one. Oh, and I did all of that background with pencil. Oh boy, oh boy. Hoo-hoo. February 2017. These two are very colorful. 5 months after the previous page with Neo colors, and the rest is Prismacolor. She has a shimmery dress with glitter glues, no stickles, some glitter paint. So fairly happy with those two. Yeah. I've seen some here. Okay, it's a very pale page, but I had fun working on it. Really had fun working on this one. Really had fun working on those three little guys too, with a glittery sea. That's about it. All the rest is plain. And I really like how these little mice turned out. Yeah, really like that one. This one is a failure. I got some bleed through here from the previous page, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one, so I've left it as it is. This is also a very old one, and she has a red nose because yeah, she's flying on a bird in cold air, and that's why her nose is a bit reddish. It's not that visible, but she has a bit of a red nose. And then my very colorful nameplate pages. No. Okay, hopping on to Klara Markova books. Starting with Ferry Celebrations. What have I done in here already? Not that much, because it's a fairly new book. I've done this page with Holbein's, Pablo's, I think Supra colors. I used quite a lot. I did use some stickles, but not that many. Just going to take... It's so sad that it doesn't refocus automatically. But then I try to play around with the light again from the lanterns on the faces and such. So, very happy with how these turned out. And I did the nameplate page. Was that the only two? I thought I had done more. No, only those two. Okay. Okay, then it's time that I should return to this book because I adore it. So I must remember to tackle Ferry Celebrations again. Then we have Fairy Miracles. Did a few in here already. 2 recent ones and an older or 2 older ones. I did this coloring last year, I think. Oh no, 2018. Playing around, trying to color cookies. Not too easy, I think. Did I use? Yes, I did use some stickles on the cookies here and there. So I'm not super fond of this coloring, but it's okay. I've done this one with liquid watercolors. It's kind of they come in an ink bottle, and yeah, then I play around because I know that the Clara Markova paper is very friendly for that medium. So there's a lot of shimmer and glitter going on this page. So really like how she turned out. I don't know. I think I've used the Pablo pencils for her skin. I didn't have the luminance when I colored this one. Now I'm using luminance for skins in the Clara books, like on this one. This is featured in my finished pages for January. So if you want to know what I've used on that one, you can take a look to that video. And this one is also a recent one done in January of this year. So yeah, also very fond of this one. I started it in December 2019, finished it in January. Yeah, really happy with this one. Then we have Thunderful Enchantments. I don't think I've done much. I did a tutorial on the luminance skin with this figure, and since then I just went in with some extra colors for her dress and for the little butterfly and for some shimmery details in her hair, because you have to have shimmer. And, oh, this is buckled. I've done the intro page as well. Not too fond of this one. And then we will dive into the real coloring pages, and I didn't do that much. I've done this one, which I'm very fond of. Very colorful, very poppy. Playing with some light on these jellyfish, and yeah, a lot of fun. This was a buddy color. I regret my color choices a little bit. Not too sure if I like it that much, but there's some stickles going on and other glittery parts. Oops, sorry. And I think that's about it. Oh no, I also did this one. This was also a buddy color, but my friend is still coloring it, although it's from April last year. She has a bit of a break from coloring due to personal circumstances, but yeah, her version was already completely different than mine, so it was exciting to see how we both approached a page differently. So she will be returning to coloring, I'm sure, and then I'm very excited to see how this page will turn out with her. And that's about it for this book. And then we hop on over to the very first book by Clara, Magical Delights, I think. This one is done. Very fond of this one. It's very colorful. It's fantasy-like. It has some glitter. Yeah, like the colorful clouds, and yeah, I'm very fond of this one. I've also done this one, also very colorful. Really liking this one too. She also has a lot of shimmer on her wings. And even the inside of that mushroom has glitter. So I've done this one. I started this one and wasn't sure what to do with it, so left it, and then months later I came back and finished it, but I only written down my last working days instead of, because I couldn't remember when I started all the rest, and I'm fairly happy with how it turned out. I love the misty clouds. It's a bit spooky. Whoa. Oh yes, I have used my the liquid watercolors again on this page. It's a recent one, September 2019. Wasn't sure about this picture at first, but with that flashy background, it all came together and I really like it now. And I like that I've done his skin differently. It's Holbein pencils. This was one of my first pictures in here, I think, with Inktense and soft pastel for the background. Only Inktense, this one. So, and this one is quite an oldie, and yeah, a bit of a boring picture, and this as well. So we will be moving on to another artist now, which is Emily Leidehal-Oberg. I've already shown my pictures in her fairy tale coloring book, and now it's time for the Sagor och Sagner ones. I adore this book. I'm happy to have it at home. I did it as a buddy color with a colorist that's unfortunately, as far as I know, not active anymore on Instagram. Yeah, it's very, very sad. I've used gold paint, but the rest is quite dark. But it was a nice buddy color. She did a lot of pictures. Most of her pictures were only Inktense, and it was beautiful. She was really a specialist in Inktense. I've done this one as well in 2018. Quite a simple one. This was a body color with Jen from Reading with Pugs, and it's also an oldie. You can see it because I went crazy with colors from, wow. But yeah, this was a failure, so I decided to put a cross over it, unfortunately. This was a body color with, I think, color and chat with Sammy and Jen from Reading with Pugs. Very pale, pastelish picture. And then trying to play around with light again. This one was also a recent, last year I think, I'm not sure. I really like my Inktense sunset background, and I think these were brush markers diluted or water-based markers. Not sure, but I really like the result. Very happy with this picture. Also done this one, quite a lot of Inktense used. Very happy with this one too, and the bubbles have some glittery nail polish on them. Then these two were done quite recently. Oh, I have smudge everywhere here. I'll see how I will solve it. Did these two on the same time. I really like how they turned out. Played around with, I think, paints, no Neocolor. This is Neocolor, but this is paint. Yeah, had a lot of fun with both of them. He only has some stickles here and there. He has a bit gel pen and such. Really like those two. Had a lot of fun with this one too. Playful background, vivid colors. Like the combination of those two, and yeah, a lot of fun with this one. This is also a recent one, October 2019, with a lot of shimmer on the bottle and a glossy accent in the middle. I will have some trouble with the page here, but it's not my favorite one, so it's not a big of a deal. Then I did this bird, very simple page, but I really like it. The soft bubbles in the background and the vividness of the pencils. I think I've used Holbein pencils. Yeah, I had fun working on this one. Then I've also done this one. This background is 3D paint, but it was from my favorite discount shop, and the 3D wasn't 3D at all. So I used it as a background paint and colored in all the rest. I'm not sure what I've used. And then this is a bit too much of everything, very busy background. I like the composition of the mice and the teacups, but the combination with the background isn't as fantastic. And this was a color along video on YouTube with the brush or the tween markers by Arteza diluted, if I'm not mistaken. Had a lot of fun, a little project, but very nice to do, very lovely. Now we are hopping to Maria Trollo. I have Fauna and Flora. And what did I do in this one already? Not super much. I've done this one with I think the Arteza brush markers watered down for everything and pencil on top and some very nice shimmer on the bottom. Really like that effect. It's a glittery hair gel that I've used for that one. Is this the only one? I don't know. It can't be. Oh no, I've done this one recently in January using Supracolor soft pencils and Pablo pencils for shading. Had a lot of fun and it was super quickly done. Yeah, really like that one. It's the only two I've done in this one. Then we have don't know what the name of this is anymore. This is again an example of how not to color your background. Way too busy and no. Now, these three with Inktense and Prismacolor for the mice, I think. I've done this one and I've splattered some paint already on this side too. I've done this one. This is Brew powder as for the background, and I decided to leave the butterfly as it is and just went in with iridescent medium and also splattered the page with iridescent medium. So it has a nice effect. Of course, if you use brush powders, you ruin the backside, but this isn't a page that I'm coloring in. Such a scene is not my cup of tea. Then we have this one, not too fond of the background colors. The rest is okay, but the border here, I think I did the border as the last thing on the page and I'm not a fan. I always start with the background, normally, most of the time. And I done this one with Rogetin and Prismacolor pencils. This one had a very busy background with different colors. I was almost making the same mistake as in the page, one of the first pages that I've shown in this book. And so I decided to paint the background with black acrylic paint. And it's simple, but really liking it. This one is done with Arteza products, the 3 markers I think, and the watercolor pencils, the 72 set. And I had a lot of fun working on this one. Really like the colors of the flowers. And from these little guys here. Yeah, a lot of fun. And this is just glittery gel pen. Then we have Twilight Garden. What have we done in here? I did this bike with some poppy butterflies in glitter gel pen and stickles. And I really like how this turned out. I based the flowers with paint, I think. I did a base layer of something. I think it were paints. And I went on top with pencils. Can't remember which ones. This one is an oldie. a very old one. I think I've used polychromos for that, for this one. Haven't I written it down? Yeah, I've written it down. But sometimes you recognize your pencils and sometimes you don't. But okay, this is a bit of a failure. It's not super nice. And that's it for this book. And my back is starting to hurt, so only 5 books to go. We have not Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, but Vivi, Suiker and Van. Vivi's looking for a friend, I think it was called, or is called. I've got the Swedish or the original edition. I'm wondering that hand here. Oh no, it's a bit different than the thing that I've colored in with the flower pot. I have a failure page on here. This one isn't a failure one. I really like it. Playing around with the lights again. It's not perfect, but a lot of fun. This one is also one that I really enjoyed doing. This one has some stickles and glitter. Also on these flowers. Was a lot of work, this one. Then we have these two. Oh no, one. I thought here was one sleeping too. It's only one. This one is a failure. I've left it. I don't think I will return to it. It's marker based and yeah, I'm just not seeing it. So, and that's it for this book. Now I have to grab my Botanicum and I'm going to show you my page that I finished just this noon. It's the 31st of January when filming this video, and I thought I couldn't finish my page on this day or in January, so I didn't include it in my finished pages. It was just a whip. But after recording my finished pages video, I colored in the rest of my page and it was finished. So I've used Polychromos, Prismacolor, Arteza, and then the girl and all the leaves, including these ones, is Erogetan pencils, and the background is a Supracolor. So I'm really fond of this one. Whoa! And I've put stickles on her blouse here. It's not very visible. And some glossy accents here and there. And I'm super fond with how this one turned out. And I did this because I've colored this last year and used a lot of stickles. And I was a bit afraid that I couldn't color in that page because of the stickles, but I didn't have any problem, luckily. Except here is a bit of a bump, but it's hardly visible. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. I'm going to take a look in the back if I have done something in here. I don't think so. So I'm going to be very careful, because if my stickles are still wet, I don't want to ruin them. I've done this one, quite a flashy background with shimmer paints, and I've thrown everything I have on this one. But I like it, it's special. This was a tribute to my Jenneke, my dear birdie that passed away. And I made the bird look like her with the same colors. And this isn't me, because I don't have my hair that long and I don't have that color either, but yeah. And I did put around a washi border to give it an older look, and I like how it came out. And that's it, except for this little project at the beginning. I'm going to lay this book aside again to prevent the stickles from doing funny things. And now I have the ink house. That was a birthday gift from my friend Color and Chat with Sammy. And I adore this book. I adore the story, the pictures, and I'm so afraid of coloring in. So I've only done one so far. I have to return to this one. It's so beautiful. But I've only done this one. Also used that washi border. And I did use the fluorescent Holbein pencils. I've used some, I think, graphite pencils. And I did do some stickles as a detail. It's hard. I always forget that I done that. It's only when I lift this book up that I'm seeing it. And I think I did this with Color Soft, because the Color Soft has a very beautiful red color. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. It's very simple, but all the rest is so beautiful, and I'm afraid of coloring in like this house, but I will. Sooner or later I will. And then the last two books, and then we are through with the hardbacks, although the last one isn't a hardback, but it's the little sister of this one. The Forest Girl 2 coloring book. I think I've only done one in this one so far, and it's this one. I was trying to play around with light again. So she has a bit of that yellowish lamplight on her. You can see, I hope it's visible, and on her jeans as well. So I'm very happy that I tried that again. And it's completely different from the original painting, and that's nice too. Although I like that people are copying the original artwork, I like that too, but I had my own idea in mind, and so I went for that one. I really want to return to this book too, because I really like it, I love it. But so far I've only done one. And then the last book, the little sister of Forest Girl 2, is the first Forest Girl. I have done 2 or 3 in this one, I think. This is a whip. Lost interest in it. Not sure when I will be returning. Still not interested. Again, this is very poppy. That's the least you can say, but I'm not a big fan of the result. I like the shimmery details. But yeah, she's looking, I just had my luminance pencils and she's looking green. She has a green skin tone because I didn't know what colors that I had to use for skin back then. So, and this one, this is my favorite one. Also different from the original one. I've used neo colors. I've used watered down acrylic for making it a bit misty. There's some splattering around for the snow. I've used Erogitan pencils on her. I had a lot of fun working on this page. I love the result. And I think that's it for this book. Oh no, I did a lot. This was the first one I ever did in this book. With stickles. Can't remember what I've used. Oh, Polychromos, Derwent Graphitint, Hero Watercolor and stickles. Okay. I've written it down. It was from 2017, and I still did that. So, and now I can conclude this part. I don't have time left to do or to film another part, so that will be for within a while. Then I'm going to film my Oriental coloring books, the books that I've ordered on AliExpress. And then surely but slowly I can dive into my plastic boxes with the books that I don't color in that much, but maybe ones that I'm grabbing into that box that I'm rediscovering some beauties, who knows. So okay, I'm going to say goodbye for now. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in another part.